It's waxed back again. I know it's been like a year. Last video I did was on, I started some combo techniques. I said it would take about 4 or 5 videos to actually complete that. So, like I said, I know it's been a year, but let's get to the next step in this sequence, and we're going to cover 3D sample stacking or three-dimensional sample storage. Let's see how I'm going to attack this. We're going to deal with one-shots, three-dimensional sample storage, and I think we're going to use base. Let me go to YouTube here to get something to sample. Some one-shot base samples. Let me see, is this set up right? Manual, blah, blah, blah. All right, that's good. Let's start this. All right, good. That's done. Now you don't have to trim this down. I'm gonna trim it down just for the hell of it. Truncate that. That's cool right there. Hit truncate. All right, we'll quick assign this to a phrase. I always do it to a phrase first. That's cool. Second 15.2. All right. All right. So what we're going to do is we are going to copy this to a clipboard. And we're going to take it over and we're going to put it onto a patch. Let me see what we got open here. Bank 3. Let's see. All right, let's go into edit on that. And let's see what options we have. We're going to one-shot that. We're going to go into sample edit. Make sure it's on one shot. You want your length lock off. You're going to take that to 0. Of course, that's the beginning. Then we're going to split this up here on the endpoint. Now this is up to you, and it depends on the situation and how long the sample is, and some other things that you'll figure out. You know, how long the length of the sample you want it, how long you want to ring out, and it just depends on the individual sound. But we'll go right here for right now. That looks good. Then we're going to length lock it. I'm going to lock that afterwards. All right, so then you can set your release, your ADSR. This is always important to know this amplifier envelope area. If you don't, you know, anybody who knows synthesis will realize how important this is for setting sounds up, but I digress. But if you're going to take the pluckiness off the beginning of the sample, always play with the attack. But I always like to, in case there's any clicking, just shave it off just a hair. So set the release up. Alright, that's cool. That's all the adjustments I'm going to make there for right now. Now we're going to 16 level this joker. Let's see. All right. Set chroma. All right. That's what we got. Now, of course, once you 16 level it, any changes you make makes changes to every pad, which is cool. But you already know that because I already did the 16 level video before. So you know, any filter you want to do, any filtering. Affects everything. All right, let's see. Let's set something up. Let's do a quick baseline. Let's see. Yeah, let's record something like that. This little tempo is probably a little up there. All right, we'll work on that, getting that straight. All right, after a couple minutes playing with that, we got the bass line down, added little drums, and here's what we got. All right, so this is what we're going to do with the 3D storage. Check it out. Quick edit. Grab a number. Now what I like is if you go into the sound a little bit, it's going to totally change the kind of bass you got because you're chopping off the attack. Let's go to another sound here. So you're changing the bass tone in real time. You can always change the release or whatnot in case you get any bleed over or two waveforms that are kind of bleeding over in each other. So let's go through some more. These one shots are all in storage, but three-dimensionally. Now what I mean by three-dimensionally, let's say you load up let's say you're organized and you put your bass sounds all on one patch bank, on the same patch bank. So if you load up 16 patches, let's say, just for instance, patch 6, bank 6 on every patch was a bass, 16 level bass set up like this. And it could be 100 different ones. It could be, this is like 17 or 18, but let's say it was 25. So 25 times 16 is 400. So you'd have 400 one-shot basses set up that you could easily maneuver through. Going this way, here in the 3-dimension way, or if you wanted to hop out, let's see, I have something on, I think, bank 3 on patch 11. So you can always go, if you're organized, bam, let's go to patch 11. Patch 11. And then you could go into there, oops, you could go into there, quick edit, sample edit that. These are totally different basses. So there you go. Let's see, what else to point out that's kind of important here. I don't want to forget anything here. Now, you probably want to use Patch Jacker, the Creator Kit. That video, that's one of the first ones I did, Mesa One's Creator Kit. I called it the Patch Jacker to record your different one-shots in there. Now these are all over the place. They're in a different key, but you probably want to say one key. Let's just say, for instance, C, middle C. You want to take a middle C for, all the basses out of your modules, like, your Triton, go through all the basses, take a middle C. Now, it could be any key, but I'm just using middle C as an example. Or you could say you want to take middle C, then the C below middle C, and then the C, 2 C's below middle C, and then the C, 3 C's below middle C. You could do it like that. So you'd have, 4 different keys to use out of each bass synth patch. But you could do this any way you want to. You could use a C, a E, A flat. You could do it in major thirds. Just go up the keyboard like that. It's up to you. Stacking them in 3 dimensions like that, because you got, in one patch you got 96 pads. Now imagine this, if they were drum one-shots, let's just say. I don't know how many drums you can get in 10 seconds, but let's say it's 1 drum per second, even though you can get way more than that with like short sounds like that. If you get 10 seconds per pad, that's 960 seconds. What's that divided by, you take 60 and 960, so that'd be, to have 960 drum sounds, that would be 16 minutes per sample. That would be 16 minutes of sampling time to get 960 if you have 1 drum per second. Yeah, that's the mathematics out here, how that works out. Now let's check this out. Now, the way I do drums, and this is going off base here, but the way I do drums, I can compress those 16 minutes into 4 minutes using the technique I showed you before with the, I'll show you that one later, but show you that one again later. But I could take, in 4 minutes of samples, I could have almost 1,000 drum sounds over the 96 pads, stacking them 3D like this. And then I could go through those sounds easily, just easily. I mean, you see how I just changed the bass sounds up. So you could swap through, man, a ton of sounds. But this is just one. This is the way I would do. This is the way I've been doing it. Actually, this is my workflow for that I use heavily to swap through bass stuff in one-shot 16 level situations. That's how I do drums. That's how I do break beats. Do all the drum breaks. But that's gonna come later in another video, because this technique leads to other interesting things. Like I said, this is for videos later. And oh, let me show you this real quick. This is how I audition sounds. Now let's just say this was 8 bars, this was 8 measures long, right? Depending on the sound, I would set up a dummy track. Was this a bass? All right, that's a bass. I would set up a dummy track and I would solo it out. And I would break this all the way back down to 1 measure. That's it. And then, oops, get on the right track. I'd break it all the way down to 1 measure, just for a test. And I will step record. Now, depending on the sound, like say it was a hi-hat I was doing, or a kick drum or something, I would do either 16ths or 1/8 notes. Something like a bass, depending on how long it rings out, I would do 1/8 notes, 1/4 notes. Let's just do 1/8 notes here. Let's see, let's record this. This recording. Oops. Let's go back. I'll take a pad. And I'll play that out. So I might want it shorter than that. I might want to use 1/4 notes. So, all right. So I would go in, and I would go through the sounds to see what I like. So instead of the trick of holding like the roll button, the shift roll, and hitting pads, you just step record it in over 1 measure and see what you like. Say you like that there, bam. Then what you would do is you mute your dummy track, and then you would take your measures back out to what however long the pattern is. So that's one tip, one little tip there. Oh, another thing I like about this. Let me go here. Yeah, here we go. This is what I like. No, that is not it. No, that's not it. No, not it. Here we go. Where's that bass line at? Alright, that should be on bank 1. Alright, check this out. Check out how that sounds. I originally recorded it, the bass line, tight up on the right on the waveform. But to make it swing, I just backed out of it until it sounded nice and swingy. And it falls behind the beat. The bass falls right behind the beat, if you know what I mean. That's another thing that I like about this, using this technique, is you can add your swing in there, and there's all sorts of ways you can freak this technique, which I'm not going to get into right now, but that's just another plus of it. You know, finding that sweet spot and laying your sounds right behind the beat. It sounds a lot better, a lot swingier. Let me see, what else? What else do I have for you that you can use real quick with this 3D sample storage and sample stacking? You always forget something. I think that's it for right now. Like I said, you can I got those right off of YouTube, so a lot of them weren't in the same they weren't in the same key, but it doesn't matter because you can you know, you always come in here and you course tune stuff, and it, you know, you can always find the right key for whatever your bass line is just by changing the you know, changing the pitch. You find the key, you know, whatever. You make the adjustments in here. It affects everything, like I showed you before on the 16 level video. But this is all a combo technique with the scrub chopping and the 16 levels, and just how my workflow just comes together into you know, one technique. You know, and this has come over the course of just years of just figuring this stuff out and how it all flows together. Because a lot of videos I did, you know, I showed one part, but it didn't show how it meshes together. But yeah, I do everything. I've been doing it for a while. The 3D sample storage. That way I can easily swap through sounds. Like I said, it leads to other techniques. The drum parts will get interesting because you do that. You kind of do that a little different because of you're not 16. Well, you can 16 level stuff or 8 level or whatever drums, but you're mainly just one shot nose. That involves just a little bit, just handling it a little bit different, but the swapping through is the same. Oh, I knew I was gonna forget something. When you are when you are setting this up, let's go back here. What was I on? It was on bank 11. It was at bank 12. All right. Say you want to use a different bass on another track. You're pretty much locked in to, if you use this, if you use that sound again and you move it to something else, any track that uses that sound is going to move too. So let's say you want to use another sound. You'd have to do another 16 level. Now the deal is, if you copy that back from the audio phrase, if you copy it back and do another 16 level, it's going to erase the bank that you had. So it would erase, I was using 12. It would erase bank 3. If you copied it back over at 16 level on bank 4, bank 3 would now be gone. And it's the way the memory management works in the MV. So what you would have to do, and I'll do it real quick and show you. And this is pretty easy. You would copy, you would clipboard that file, and then you would, all right, right next to it. It's the same file. And you would go in and you would edit. And the way you would edit it, take one sample off, right? One sample, truncate it. Right? You're not going to replace it. You're just going to truncate it. Now this is going to make it a totally different sample just by changing the one sample. Just one sample off the end. Then what you're going to do, oops, you don't have to save it unless you want to. You're going to clipboard that. You're going to go into bank 12. Let me see what that looks like. Yeah, you're going to clipboard that. And then you can 16 level it. So bank 4, you're going to split. And you can 16 level that. See? So now you have bank 3, 3 and 4. But like I said, if you had to just went back and copied it over and used the same audio phrase and then 16 leveled it on 4, 3 would disappear. And like I said, that's because of the way the memory management works and how it points to the sample. So it would think that you don't want this anymore. You're putting it here. But by changing the sample, by taking that one sample off, by copying it over and taking the one sample off, it makes it a totally different sample. So when you put it on, your next bank, bam, it keeps the original one here. And that way you could use this for another beat. The big thing is to stay organized. I think it was E21 that says you do a different beat on each song. You make a different song. You set up a different song. You got 16 songs. You do your beats individually. So each song that you set up, all your patterns and everything should be different. You got 16 of them, if that makes sense. It makes sense in my head. But yeah, if you're gonna do a different beat, just copy everything over with your song. You know, take all your sounds and everything over. And it just makes it a lot more, it makes it a lot more efficient and keeps the clutter down. So what else? That's all that I can remember for right now. Damn, it's like a half hour. Okay, yeah, I'm getting too long. But I hope that makes sense. But yeah, that is that's the three-dimensional storage or 3D stacking workflow. Wax, and I'm out.